Hey there, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood OMEB, the Doctor of Rock. Yes, I really do have a PhD. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about today is how to create an animated fire logo using Adobe After Effects. Before yesterday, I had never touched After Effects in my life, and I was looking for tutorials to explain how to do it. Problem I found is after 3 hours and a dozen tutorials, a lot of them are leaving out steps here and there. They're moving too fast. It's kind of hard to follow what they're doing. And that critical step being missing was a pretty big deal. So I'm going to show you how I did it after spending 3 hours, so hopefully you don't have to spend 3 hours. First thing you're going to do, you're going to download an effect called Saber, and this effect will be linked in the description below. Once you've installed it, open up Adobe After Effects. Here's what it's going to look like with the default layout. You're going to go to New Composition. This video I want to make 4K. You can do this here. You can set it to whatever you want. But I wanted 4K, so that's going to set the size, which is actually the size of the logo that I have to begin with. And I want it to be 15 seconds. Click OK. Pretty simple so far. Next, I'm going to take this pre-designed logo that I have, and I'm going to drop it. Simple. Next step, drop it on your timeline. And looky there. There's the logo. I got to give a shout out to my pal, Vincent DePorter. Vincent is a world famous comic book artist. He's worked for SpongeBob comics and DC comics, drawing Batman and Scooby-Doo, and he even drew Rugrats, which some of you may remember. So this guy's legit. He's the real deal. If you need to get a hold of him about something, drop a comment below and I'll put you in touch with Vincent. He does freelance work, and as you can see, it's fantastic. Now that you've got this drag and dropped and everything's here, we need to do something called auto tracing. So you're going to find that under Layer. You're going to scroll down to Auto Trace, and then this will pop up. Now, I had an issue with this because everybody's was set to alpha. And when I did alpha and preview, I don't see anything changing. It's not creating a mask. But I found after I changed it, you see this little outline that pops up? This has created a mask. So their design was a black background with white letters, where mine's the opposite, so maybe that's what the difference was. But if you don't see something change here and it's on preview, it's not going to create the mask. That was the first big problem I found. So here, some people also created a new layer out of this. I didn't find this necessary. It was just more work. So create your mask, and there we go. Now you'll see the mask has popped up here on the screen. And basically all this has done is it's traced the image. Now we're going to go up here to Effects in the top right corner. We're going to type Saber. There it is. Drag and drop on the timeline. Well, that's kind of neat looking, isn't it? Here's the next step. We're going to go over here, which this is the effects controls for Saber. You need to click on Customize Core, and we're going to set this to Layer Mask. Now that's going to trigger the masks that we created with auto tracing to be what's controlling our fire. So the next step, you go up to presets. There's a bunch of different presets. You just got to scroll through and find what you like. Lots of different things. The other thing I noticed is it created this mask around the outside, which I didn't like. So if you find a line that's popping up around everything, this is why, and you have to delete the outline mask, which nobody else had this problem but me. Go figure. Nope. One too far. Okay. Now we've just got this. It looks pretty good. This one's called Cellular. It's not too bad. If you hit play, it's kind of a neat effect. But it wasn't what I was going for, particularly with the band. I was looking for fire. So there is a fire here, which that's pretty cool. It was almost too much for me, so I found burning. And I thought that looked a lot better. I changed some numbers up here. You got your glow intensity. I think I changed it to 50. That just makes it, no, it wasn't that bright. Let's leave it where it was at. I did change the spread to 0.75, so we had a whole screen full of flame, and that looks pretty good. Now, I saw a couple people animate it to where it just wasn't this the whole way through. It actually went from nothing to bursting into flames. And no matter what I did, I couldn't figure out how to do it until the last video 3 hours later. And what you're going to do is you're going to click this clock on start offset. This is the part everybody left out. Click this, and we're going to have 100, and that makes it go away. You have to make sure your cursor is at the beginning as well. So all we see is the mask. Then I'm going to drag this about halfway through. It's about there. Now I'm going to change this to 0. Now, drag your cursor back. So once you've set the start offset 100, then move up halfway or wherever you want it to be finished drawing by in your timeline. That's it. You just hit play and look at that. Really simple, not a lot of work. And all my problems came down to not explaining to use this clock to make the timing happen. So that's my tutorial. I hope you find it helpful. And maybe as I learn more about this software in the future, I'll make a couple more tutorials for all the dummies like me.